I told you, lady, that I love you. If I didn't, darling, I'm sorry.
Been together forever, fuck the weather, she ain't never changed. If I lose, you ain't gon' charge it to the game. I'm the one to blame, pleasure over pain. Sorry that you came, put money over fame, never been the same. But I've been deranged, never went insane. All them darker nights, they turn to brighter days. Told you that I never leave your side. Yeah, you always on my mind. I know you down to ride. Through the winter, you a prize. Trophy in disguise, you know it's up, I never lie. Down is where they try to keep me stuck, but I'm up high. Pockets blue just like the sky. I know they wonder why. I know they wonder why. Yo, it's DSCO33. Welcome to the B.M.W Trading Podcast. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about which business is best for you. Now, I want you guys to understand that in this space, B.M.W stands for Building and Manifesting Wealth, okay? Now, I do have my own record label, and that stands for Best Man Wins, right? But when we talk about being the best, like the best man wins, that's you becoming the best version of yourself, right? That's the one who always gonna win the race. And remember, like, everybody's running their own race, so it's like the whole idea is just you becoming the best version of yourself. And in this space right here, we're talking about building and manifesting wealth, all right? Now, the number one way that you can build your wealth, like today, is by starting your own business, right? Starting your own business. Now, I'm gonna take it back for you guys real quick. When I was 18, I started my own like barbershop, right? Right outside, like right in my dorm, right? When I was in college, Boston State University, back in like 2016, right? Like, I started my own barbershop though. I made like $100 in one day. I was geeked. Like that was like the first time I did something like that because it was like, man, I'm like my own business. Like I started my own thing, like, and I'm making $100. I got people coming through, and I was doing $10 haircuts. You feel me? Like I was doing it. I was giving people. I was just helping people out. You know what I'm saying? Like really getting them together for $10, bro. And like I felt that, right? That was like one of the first times I did that, and then I went and started doing more things to help myself generate income, right? Like I started DJing. I started my own, not my own, but like we was with a couple of the other guys, but we started our party promotion company. We throwing our own parties. We making a lot of money doing that too, right? Like it just started to just love creating businesses. Just started to love being the guy making something that people wanted, right? Becoming a creator instead of the consumer, right? And the reason why I was doing that is because, like, first of all, it was helping me generate income at a young age. I was like, all right, cool, we got our money coming in, like that's cool, right? Another reason why is because I just like seeing everybody else happy. I like seeing everybody else win. I like seeing everybody else succeed. I like helping everybody else out. So it's like I'm creating all these businesses, right? Like the only thing I'm doing is helping people. I'm giving services, right? My business was just services. Like DJing is a service, cutting hair is a service, throwing them parties was a service. Like it's just a service, and that's a business, right? That's the kind of businesses that I wanted to create, service businesses. Now, anybody can create a non-profit organization. Anybody can create an invention, right? Anybody can create like a corporation, right? Like, just think about this though. Most businesses are service businesses, regardless. Like, it's about you helping the next person, and understand like building your wealth comes from you creating like and like networking and you like co-creating with other people. Like that's how you start to build your wealth on a whole nother level, right? But in this specific episode, right, let's get back to the episode. I just know I just went on the whole little tangent, but in this episode right here, I'm gonna be going through more of the legal aspects of creating your own business. And the main reason why I want to do that is because when I first started making my own businesses, like I didn't really have that kind of knowledge. Like I didn't have that kind of like that same experience yet. Most that I knew is that I could create my own way of generating income by doing a skill, by giving out a service. I knew that was an idea, but I didn't necessarily know like the legal ways to make my idea a legal entity. And that's what that's all a business is. It's just a legal idea, right? So saying all that, right? That's what we're gonna get into later. But right now, what I want you to do is just ask yourself, like, what kind of business do I want to run? Like, what kind of business is best for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I do the service businesses. I've had most of those, right? But I never had my own storefront, right? I never started my own, like, I never got into like the real estate side of business. You know what I'm saying? I haven't got my own properties yet. There's a lot of different sides to business. There's a lot of different sides to generating wealth, but you have to just figure out which is the best niche for you. And the main thing is just like get started. Like once you come up with the idea, once you realize what you want to do, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like once you figure it out, do it and keep going and keep going. And in the beginning, sometimes it will not
work out the way you want it to. But that's fine. That's a part of entrepreneurship. That's a part of investing. Like, a lot of times when we start dealing with these stocks, we deal with these trades, they'll go negative before they ever go positive. And that's just a part of life. Like, you're going to spend a lot of money before you make a lot of money. That's a part of life. Like, you got to just be ready for that part. Understand another thing too, like when we're talking about building and manifesting wealth, it's all mindset. Like, it's all about the mindset. It all starts right here. So you creating the idea that you want to start a business, then you walking through the steps to start that business, then you actually like walking through it, I mean like planning it out first, like planning out what kind of business it is, like how you're going to actually, not even how you're going to make money yet, because the money's going to come. The business is the first thing. Where is the business going to be located at? What are you going to be producing with this business? Like, what is the business for? Thinking about how much it's going to cost you to actually make the business without you even doing it yet. You know, like actually putting in the time to create the whole thought, right? After you do that, then it's about putting in the work. And that's where your mindset has to like be on point, because the work is always needed. The work is always needed to be done, especially as an entrepreneur, right? So, like I said, what kind of business are you trying to start? Okay, what kind of business are you trying to start? Ask yourself that first. Then ask yourself, like, do I want to start a business with my friends and with my family? Do I want to do it by myself, or do I want to do it with other people? Okay, and then I need you to just ask yourself, how far do you see your business growing? How far do you see it going, right? Like, with me, everything I do, I want it to last forever. I don't want anything to be just here today and gone tomorrow, because that's not longevity. That's not wealth. That's not like long-term financial stability. Okay, you create that by delivering at a high quality and delivering at a high rate. You know, like not every time you have to deliver at a like a fast pace. That's not always true. But when you deliver with quality and deliver at a high pace, you will receive income faster as well. If that makes sense. Everything starts to roll when you start to move faster. Speed, the success loves speed. The reason why I want to go into the legal side of business is because this will protect you and your business while you're doing your services, while you're actually helping people out with whatever it is that you do, right? That's the business side of things is on you. The manifestation side of things is on you. I'm just going to give you some quick gems on like what businesses are and how you can actually protect yourself being a business owner. Okay, so first things first, like there are 4 different kinds of businesses that you can start right now, and the first one is a sole proprietorship, right? The second one is a partnership. The third one is a limited liability company. And the fourth one, I apologize, is a corporation. Okay? So remember, there are 4 different kind of businesses that you can start, right? And the first one is a sole proprietorship. Okay? A sole proprietorship is an unincorporated company that is owned by one individual only. All right? They're owned by one person only. So that'd be like me with my barbershop right out my dorm. Like if I was to have gotten that, like to file that business, I would have filed it as a sole proprietorship because it was just me, right? It was just me starting this business, right? It was just me owning this business, owning this barbershop in a dorm. You know how we would have called it, but that's what I would have did. Okay, and the reason why it's good to file as a sole proprietorship is so that way nobody else can actually take that entity, that legal name of that business from you. That's for sure always going to be yours until this business closes, right? Now, it's the most simple type of business, right? But it has the least amount of financial and legal protection of the owner. That's the one thing that goes into the sole proprietorship. It's like you don't get as much protection, like the liability, and just when it comes to taxes and things like that, like you have to go through a lot more than a limited liability company or a sole proprietor, or a partnership. You feel me? Or a company or a corporation. So the thing about the sole proprietorship that's different than a limited liability company or corporation is the fact that the sole proprietor, he shares the same identity as the company, okay? He shares the same identity as the company, meaning that when you see, so say me for example, when you see me, you usually see B.M.W. trading, right? That's what you usually think of when you see me. But the fact that DSCO33 is an LLC, David Scott doesn't necessarily own, David Scott isn't necessarily the same, I'm not the same person as DSCO33, because DSCO33 is a limited liability company. It's a legal entity, right? But David Scott is just David Scott. He's somebody completely different. DSCO33 is a legal entity. Understand this, with the sole proprietorship, the owner shares the same identity as the company, okay? So the owner, right? The owner is the same person as the company. Now, look at it like this. I'm David Scott, that's my real name, right? But DSCO33 is my business. Now, say I was to have got the sole proprietorship, I said I was to have filed DSCO33 as a sole proprietorship, right? Then you would see David Scott and DSCO33 as the same person. But see, the thing that I did was I filed DSCO33 as an LLC, meaning that it's a limited liability corporation company that it's owned by David Scott. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not the same person. So DSCO33 is a company. It's not necessarily a person. As a sole proprietorship would be looked at as a person instead of a legal entity. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because as an entity, you can't be seen as a person. So the same laws that apply to a company, or the same laws that apply to sole proprietorships, do not apply to limited liability corporations. The same laws that apply to sole proprietorships and partnerships do not apply to limited liability companies and corporations. Okay? So those are the two different things, right? Now I'm gonna talk about partnerships real quick. When it comes to partnerships, right? Partnerships are businesses that are owned by two or more people. Okay? They're known as partners. Simple. Right? Now you can file this with your best friend, with your cousin, with your dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can file this with anybody. You can file the same kind of business with anybody, right? Now you just got to remember that the owners are responsible for the liabilities of the firm, okay? The owners are responsible for the liabilities of the firm. So if you and your best friend, you guys started a real estate company, right? And you guys sold a house to somebody, and that house actually you guys didn't like check on the house. Right, you guys didn't do none of the plumbing, y'all didn't do none of the electrical work, y'all didn't check on none of the heat to make sure none of that stuff worked, and you sold it to this guy. He can sue you guys for that, right? He can sue the whole company for that, and that's how you lose money. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys didn't check it and you sold it to me feeling as if though it was worthy, and all that would fall back on the owners of the company. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's 3 different kind of partnerships that you could file, and some of them might be better for you, right? Now there's the general partnership, where, just like I said, the owners, right? The owners own all of the liability of the company, right? Then there's limited partnerships, where at least one general partner takes on the whole liability for the partnership, right? And manages the operations of the company. Now that means there could be 2 people that filed the business, but one person is actually taking on all responsibility of the company. Does that make sense? Right, now that's called a limited partnership. Now, a limited liability partnership is similar to general partnerships. However, the partners in this business are not responsible for the actions of other partners or of the debts of the business, okay? So this type of business often goes to lawyers or accountants, okay? Now, this is what I was talking about before, the limited liability company. This right here is I feel like it's the way to go for most business owners. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is because as you start off in business, you're liable to make mistakes early on. Very liable to make mistakes early on. So you want to start a limited liability company, basically relinquishing you of the liabilities of that company. Okay? And that helps you out, especially as a first-time business owner, especially as a young business owner, right? Especially as an older business owner too, because you won't have to worry about the liabilities. You don't have to worry about the things that could go wrong in your business. Now you do in a sense, but at the same time it falls on your business and not necessarily on you as a person. Okay? And that's what you want, to be able to separate yourself from the business. You are the owner, the sole owner of the business, but you're separate from the business in a legal standpoint. You get what I'm saying? Right. So a limited liability company, it combines the aspects of both partnerships and corporations, right? Like I say, you retain the tax benefits of sole proprietorships and the limited liability of corporations, because corporations go through the same limited liability joint, right? It's nothing different. There's nothing different between an LLC and a corporation, except the corporation is just a bigger business, right? Just a way bigger business. An LLC is usually a smaller business, but still in all, an LLC could become a really big business too. It just takes time, which is like most things. Even with corporations take time. LLCs exist as their own entity, okay? So this protects the company from being personally liable for the operations and debts of the business. Okay, so this protects the company that owns the LLC, right? So remember, you can have a business that owns the business. All right, that's always possible. It's always about how you play the game, right? And the reason why is mainly for the tax benefits and the relinquishing of the liabilities, right? You don't want to have to be liable for things that go wrong. Like I say, a lot of times we make mistakes, especially in business. And the way to get around that is by setting up LLCs, by setting up corporations, things that will have you outside, like out of bounds when it comes to like all of the mistakes that you can make. Basically is what I'm trying to say. All right. Now I'm gonna talk about corporations real quick. Now, corporations are a separate legal entity created by shareholders of an already existing company. Okay, so I could be an LLC, right? But we can start our own corporation. I can have my own LLC, but we can start our own corporation. All right, and a corporation is incorporating a business. Okay. So the reason why you want to start a corporation is because incorporating a business protects the owners from being personally liable for the company's debts and legal disputes, right? Same thing as an LLC. It keeps them personally, right? Well, it protects the owner from being personally liable for that, right? That's why you want to start a business. That's why you want to start an LLC or a corporation, because it protects you from being personally liable for the debts and all of the legal disputes that you will go through as an upcoming business owner. Okay. Now remember, I want you guys to always remember this about me, right? If you don't remember anything else, remember this. I am not a legal advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not nothing like that. I'm just an experienced life liver, okay? And I'm just trying to give you guys some game. All right. Now, with those 4 different types of businesses that I gave you guys good definitions on, I tried to go over a couple different things with you. With that being said, like, take that and like actually create a great business, right? And when you're ready to get it filed, like, understand, like I said, when I was 18, I didn't think to get a business like license. I didn't think to get it filed. I wasn't thinking about my LLC. I started to think about all of that kind of stuff later in life as I started to realize I need to be protected as a business owner, because it's an opportunity for me to be protected as a business owner. If I was to have messed up a dude's head, like if I'm cutting this guy's hair, bro, and like say I nick him with the clippers, meaning that I accidentally cut into his skin with the clippers. If I did that, he could sue me for that too. But as an LLC, as a business, like, I can actually be protected as the business owner, and however that legal dispute would go, I would be good. As David Scott, I would still be able to work as I do. Okay, and that's what you want to do. You want to protect yourself as you're getting into this legal, into this business world, because in all honesty, that's the only way to really create your wealth. Right? It's getting into creating your own business, getting into investing, becoming more financially literate. Like, you have to read more books. You have to actually start to understand what we're getting into and like the space and the age that we're going into. It's a digital age, a digital era that we're approaching right now. We're already entered it, you know what I mean? But like, as we go forward, we're starting to become more, it's becoming more and more prevalent. And as we continue to move in this digital space, you have to learn how to protect yourself as a business, as a legal entity, because everything starts off with an idea. Everything starts off with an idea. Every business, every corporation, every LLC that you can think that you've seen started off as an idea first in somebody's head, right? And they just made it a legal, they just went through the legal documentation, the legal filing of that idea, and now that business stands on the corner today, right? And it's still making money because they just went through with it. Just went through with the process. They just like, man, I can create a whole business with this idea. They just thought about it. Only thing you gotta do is think about it. That's how you start the manifestation process. And remember, in this space, we're building and manifesting wealth. And so when you leave this space, just think about how you can build and manifest wealth for yourself and for the generations to come. All right? That being said, family, it's DSCO33, and I'll see you on the next one.
Check out Season 2, the hit B.M.W. Trading Podcast by DSCO, every Wednesday on the HausHill Entertainment Networks. B.M.W. Trading Podcast helps you gain more financial literacy to a better life. Head over to www.HausHillEntertainment.com or download the free HausHill Entertainment app exclusively for iPhone and Android devices.